What's good, everybody? Welcome in to your daily sports betting show on record. Very special early edge live episode. As always, follow us here at YouTube. Turn on those notifications so you know exactly when brand new content drops into your feed. A little housekeeping before I bring in the stars of the show. And this is a very special hour because we are diving deep into Game 4 of the NBA Finals tonight, the Suns and the Bucks. But do not forget our golf-only episode with Rick G, the set for the Open Championship. It's in your feed right now. I just tweeted it out again about 10 minutes ago. And don't forget, the Open Championship starts, it's in Europe. So you got to get the plays in today because it basically starts in the middle of the night. And you don't want to wake up and tweet me and say, Coach, you gave me this play. And then they already – I'm telling you right now, get your play in today. But for here and the now, we're focused on the NBA Finals. And boy, are we knee deep. Let's bring in the stars of the show. Because I love the faces that we've got on today. My goodness, are we running the 5-man weave? What? Now, we've got to be very, very polite hosts, okay? You know my 3 veterans. You know them. But we got to bring in for the very second time, I can't even speak, the second time, but the first time with your boy running the show, Amir. Very quickly, introduce yourself to the people at home. Kind of give us a little 15-second bio of yourself. Go.
All right, quick 15. Joining you guys. I'm just over a week and a day in, coming over from DraftKings Nation, where I did across a lot of sports, fantasy and sports betting, mostly emphasizing basketball and DFS and betting space. So I'm here to bring you guys a new face, talk a lot of hoops. Here we go.
So when I say introduce yourself, do you have a name?
Ameer Tyree, if I missed that at the top, my bad.
Yes, you missed that at the top. That's all right. It's all about listening, right? All right, Amir, welcome. We love having your expertise because right now you're going to be our guru when it comes to numbers and weather. You're right next to him, so you better have your A game ready because M Squared is always ready. Mikey, what's up, man?
Not much, Coach. Shaking off a rough day so far in tennis, but I got the third match underway, so it's gonna be fun. Basically, gonna be -1 unit or -3.3. So always a pivotal swing there, if you will. But I'm ready to go. It's gonna be a fun Game 4 in the NBA Finals tonight.
Trust me, Mikey. Anybody that rolls with you on tennis like we do, we're way up. So a couple of losses doesn't phase us at all. If you can keep us honest with that query match, I would appreciate it. I'll put that on you, please. All right. The man that I wish I had his voice when I grow up, he is Allan Bell, and he changed lives this morning on the show. That's right. You, sir, were responsible for a year-long subscription to Sportsline being given out 3-0 last night on the All-Star Game. How are you, man?
Man, I'm fantastic. I'm happy for that user. Congratulations. And look, we're going to keep that thing going tonight, man. We got another good play. Yeah, let's stay perfect.
My guess is we're going to have a little dissension in the ranks here a little bit because I've seen the plays that you and Amir have on the game tonight. Then, of course, our rock. He is everything to us. He runs the show. Maestro, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Coach. Yeah, I just finished listening to the episode with you and Rick Run Good. I entered 6 lineups. I'll probably stay up to watch some of that opening action in the British Open. I can't wait, but we're talking hoops, so let's go.
Yeah, I'm very torn because out here on the West Coast, the Open Championship starts like at 11 p.m. tonight. So tomorrow I may be a little off on the morning show. All right, before we get into looking back to look forward, we've got a lot of plays that we've got to get in right now because the game is coming. The plays are coming. And on this show, we beat the books because it changes as soon as we give them out. So quickly, I know, AB, you have a play on the afternoon show. Give it to me.
Yep. We're going to take the under 221.5 in the game tonight. Here's the deal. The public's moving the number up. I think it should be going down. If you look at 4 of the last 5 Game 4s in the NBA Finals, they saw a decrease in points from Game 3, including the last 3 straight Game 4s in the NBA Finals had drop-offs of 21 points, 35 points, and 19 points, respectively. Game 4 is a cornerstone, pivotal game in a basketball series. We're playing the under tonight.
Interesting. And you sound like you're very confident in that pick. However, we have a man on the show today that is absolutely the opposite of what you're saying. Amir, for the first time in your early edge career, stand up for yourself, son. Stand up for yourself. Let's go.
Yeah, when I wrote earlier today, I was on the over at 220 and a half, which I'd bet it up to 221 for sure. Just going off, we saw it get to 220 in the first game in Milwaukee. We know the Bucks guys are going to shoot way better at home. We saw Jrue Holiday and Chris Middleton. They were shooting 36% in those first 2 games in Phoenix. for the playoffs so far, or leading up to Game 3, they were shooting 46%. We saw Jrue Holiday pick that back up. And I say hitting 220, and this is with Devin Booker playing 29 minutes, getting pulled way too early. This is with Deandre Ayton playing 24 minutes, 1 rebound off a double-double. And I just can't see that happening again with both of those guys, given that we saw all the way up to 220. I think both at least one of those guys goes over 35 minutes. And also they're gonna cut down on something I want to touch on. I saw Larry said earlier today is they're not gonna play Frank Kaminsky and Torrey Craig as much as they played that last game. They're both a minus 12 and 14 to 15 minutes respectively. We know what Monty Williams does as far definitely coach of the year kind of guy as far as making adjustments. So I expect them to get that back on track and for the over to hit.
All right, I feel like Maestro has something to say over there.
Yeah, I don't want to break the tie because I really am torn because on the one hand, neither team can really stop what the other wants to do. You know, the Bucks are dominating inside and the Suns are getting open looks. They didn't hit them in Game 3. And normally in a series like this, you see it turn into a slog. You know, the longer it goes, we do get some unders, but I don't know. With so many days off, the guys are fresh. So I'm going to stay away from the full game total, but I do like the third quarter total over 56.5. And I'm not the first person to notice this, but the third quarter has had at least 62 points in every game so far. And if you look back through the season, both of these teams score a ton of points in the third quarter. They usually come out with the faster pace with adjustments. So that's one way to look if you can find 56.5.
Yeah, I like that play a lot because when you get to the fourth quarter, people at home would probably say, well, how come the Maestro's not saying play the entire second half? And I believe the reason would be because in the fourth quarter, everything slows down. They really take the full shot clock. And I played the second half over and barely won it by like 1 or 2 points when they scored the 60-some points in that third quarter. So it's a smart play. Listen to the Maestro. Play that third quarter around 56 points. All right, quickly, Amir, I know you have several other plays. Rip them off. Johnny, go ahead and throw up his full screen while he's giving us the other plays. Give it to me in about 30 seconds, please.
Yeah, first off, for some of those Suns +4, we're going against the grain. Mostly just because the Suns, I talked about in the first show, they covered on the road more than any other team in the NBA. Most road wins in the NBA, 15-5 after losses this year. So that's just for the regular season, 16-6 with playoffs. Back-to-back losses once all postseason. Now we're going to Bobby Portis. Got played off the court in that game too, but then he came back and played 18 minutes, got those 11 boards and 8 rebounds, or 11 points and 8 rebounds rather. And now we got Portis. He's going to go over, I think, again, we got 11 of 17 playoff games so far. He's hit over on that. And, you know, he's going to be Giannis's backup and Brook Lopez's backup. So especially with the defense, have the best defensive rating at home in the NBA, I think that's an easy one at -150. Then we got Cam Johnson over 13.5 points, assists, and rebounds. What I've seen a lot is people really love his points prop. If you love his points prop around 8.5 or so, well, it's not so crazy to go with the 13.5, given that he had 14 points and 5 rebounds. He played 30 minutes. He's probably going to play more minutes than anybody else off the bench in this game. So I can't see how you can hate that for like 30-plus minutes from Cam Johnson again. And then I have the Chris Middleton over 5.5 assists. I saw it at +110 when I was first looking at it. 4 of his last 5 games, he's gone over that. 7 of his last 10. Only Jrue Holiday has more assists than him at home so far. So yeah, I definitely like that one. And seeing him go up from like 4.5 -160 for like, you know, add another one onto that. I don't hate it. So
you know, I mean, I feel like you and Jay Smooth went to the same school of take giving, where you don't really understand what 30 seconds means in this business. However,
it's hard. I got a lot of info, man.
See, and so does Jay Smooth. What do I tell him all the time? Give me 2 nuggets on every game and move on, and you're all good. I'm just teasing you a lot, sort of. All right.
No problem.
Bro, if you're going to be on the show, you got to be able to take it. All right. I forgot to give you the most important information because everybody over in the chat is already ahead of the game because you guys are very, very smart. We're giving away at least 1, hopefully 3 year-long subscriptions to Sportsline tonight. Give us a like. We'll get to 100 likes. We'll give away 1. And then give us the over-under and leave your Twitter handle. We'll give away 2. And then if we get it to 200 likes, we'll give away 3. But let's start with the likes. Let's get to 100, and we'll give away 1. Now, I know one of those plays, Maestro, you're also on tonight, and that's a side. Explain yourself.
Oh, in terms of the game, yeah. Yes. I'm on the game that we're talking about. The reason why we are here. Yes. I am with Amir, and I'm going against Matt Severance, I'm going against Michael Roberts, I'm going against Kyle Akins, I'm going against Mike Barner. So that does not make me feel good. But getting 4.5 now, getting 5 possibly at tip-off does, make it even more appetizing, even though we haven't had a game in, within single digits yet. I just think the Suns are going to bounce back. I don't think the reffing will take them out of the game the same way. I think they're going to have to be a lot smarter. Ayton is probably going to be helping on Giannis, but I don't think he's going to be the primary defender. The Bucks know that's the way to win the series. Get Ayton in foul trouble. I think Monty is going to adjust. And is Giannis going to keep making 70% of his free throws? He's been dominant. Of course, he's going to dominate inside, but he's going to make that many free throws. He's shooting 74% the last 2 games. I just think both teams are going to play well. I think it's going to be a great game. This is going to be the best game of the series, so I'm going to take the points.
Okay, I don't mind that. I'm going to give you a few numbers, though, Maestro. That's not going to make you feel very good about your side. The Bucks, 8-1 at home in the playoffs. Their point differential, plus 14.1. 14 points that they're averaging by winning at home. They have 6 wins of the 9 by double digits. They are 16-1 in their past 17 home games dating back to the regular season. And the last 3 non-bubble postseasons, 17-3 at home. Do you still want to go with the Suns plus the 4?
I still do, because as Amir referenced, there's no better road team in the league throughout the season and in the playoffs than the Phoenix Suns. And, the Bucks came home in game 3 against the Nets and won that game by 3 points. They haven't all been blowouts. And the Hawks games turned into blowouts. But I think the Suns will show up. I think it'll be a really competitive game.
Yeah, don't get hot. Don't get hot.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not hot. I'm not.
Well, you're getting hot. Feel like you're getting hot. All right, let's look back real quick before we look forward to tonight, because we'll get into all the props, all the points props, and all that. But we got to bring M squared into the conversation, because a lot of things went right for us in Game 3. A lot of things did not go right for us. The over/under, 1 point under, because blowouts kill over/unders. They just do. And it didn't help us that the starters came out with 3 minutes to go when we were on pace. But what did you think when you look at all the different bets that we hit, maybe bets that we didn't? What did you think worked that might carry over to tonight's game, Mikey?
I think the total a little bit. I would lean towards the over on it as well. It's in the simulations, it's 224.6. It's a pretty meaningful edge at this point. So I think that one, you're betting on a game being more competitive than what we saw in the last one. So I don't think we see the blowout that we saw in the last game. So that's the one that definitely stands out the most for sure.
Okay. Do you have something else? Go ahead. Hopefully you.
I just say I would mention that if you like the Suns plus 4.5, I would probably just sprinkle the money line. I feel like if they're going to cover the spread, they're going to win the game outright. Personally, if they're going to lose by 5, 5.5, 6, like with the free throws at the end, because they will play the desperation foul game at the end here. So in my opinion here, anything less than 5, you're taking the money line. So if you like them.
For those that are brand new to the show that maybe watching for the very first time, when you hear any of us say sprinkle, we mean just a little bit, not your full unit size. So if you're a $100 bet, it may be 25 or 50 instead of the full unit. That's what we mean when we say sprinkle. AB, you were all over several plays in Game 3. What did you think worked? Why? And what will carry over to tonight?
Yeah, I agree with Mike. Like, the blowout killed us, right? And in the fourth quarter, when you're looking up and you're seeing guys that, are sitting and, at the end of the third quarter, that was brutal to see. But yeah, the under hits by 0.5 point. I think that, we're going to have a much more competitive game. Me being on the under tonight, what I worry about is any type of overtime situation, which you can't plan for by any means. But I don't mind a tight game, especially late in the third, all throughout the fourth quarter, because again, I think that they're going to run the shot clock tonight. And I think that even though it was a completely different scenario in Game 3 to what we might see in Game 4, I still feel good with that under. But I think the story was players being, sitting, in Game 3. That really was, and it made the difference. On props too. I mean, it was all over the board,
Look at this. Johnny just put up on the screen, 90% of the cash is on the over 221 for tonight's. That's from William Hill. If you're an over better, perfect scenario is a 10 to 12 point game. If you're an under better, you want it around 1 or 2 because both teams value those possessions so much in the fourth quarter. One number that hasn't changed throughout this entire series that we continue to cash, and Maestro and Amir, you guys are both on it. So Amir, you can piggyback Maestro here. Why hasn't the Cam Johnson prop changed yet other than juice? Maestro?
It started at 6.5, then it was 7.5, now it's 8.5. This time they've just raised the juice to -140. But if he does hit 10 or more, which I think we both like, they're going to have to raise it. I think one of the factors that hasn't been mentioned is Cam Payne not playing well lately. This guy's in a slump. It was a decent job in game 1. But other than that, you look at his last 4 or 5 games, and he is not playing well. He's not shooting well. So anytime there's really nobody left on the bench that he trusts other than Cam Johnson. So, I like Amir's thing because, it could be 8 and 6, and that way you kind of cover yourself when you have the points, assists, rebounds. But I'll stick with my 8.5 because I think he's going to score double digits.
Yeah, for sure. And then just looking, I just wanted to check, and still at the 13.5 is still plus 100 on the Cam Johnson points, rebounds, and assists. And he's hit the over on that 4 games in a row. And I think to hit it again, and then even with those 2 bench front court guys coming in playing terribly, it's really hard for me to not keep going with that. And then, if you think double digit points, there's no reason you shouldn't go with the points, assists, rebounds, especially if they don't have Sarge. He's going to get those power forward backup minutes, and behind Mikal Bridges, he's also his next guy behind him. So it's really hard to not go with him.
What the guys are talking about is what we call correlated plays, where you make one play like Cam Johnson at over 8.5, and then what Amir's talking about, that if you like him, that he could go to 10 and 12, and just add in the points, assists, and rebounds that could help you with the points. If for some reason he's a little bit off, and then everything makes sense that you put them together, so they are in a sense correlated. All right. Anything else from Game 3 before I hit on Giannis, because he's now really become the story of this finals. That after the knee that looked like it was blown out, like he wasn't going to play in Game 1, he came back, yes, and now he is starting to put up historic numbers, over 40 points, back-to-back games. I could list off all of the numbers and the guys that he is matching, and there's like one, Shaq. Then it's Shaq, and then it's MJ, and then it's crazy the numbers that he is putting up. So let's start on that side of the fence for tonight with the points props, because Giannis is all the way up to 34.5, and that's a high number to play a total on. M-Squared, I want to start with you on what Giannis has done and how he has shifted the market for him in particular.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously getting to the rim. He's been incredibly dominant, like Shaquille O'Neal level dominant in terms of scoring and taking shot attempts from inside 3 feet. And he's going to continue to try to do that. He's going to get to the line. Him getting to this number, and the reason why you're seeing it climb also all the way up to 34 is it's correlated to him making some of these free throws, right? So you're looking at him shooting 17 free throws, 18 free throws. You're even at his percentages here, 11 to 12 points. He's averaging basically 12 to 13 points from the free throw line, right? So that's what's going to have to continue for him to get to that number. I personally think that he's still going to get to that number. If you look at the last 2 games in this series, he's really stepped it up in terms of the usage rate. We're talking 36%, 35% in the last 2 games. It was down to 23, 24% in the first game of this series, the last game of the Atlanta Hawks series. So, yeah, I'm telling you, I think that the reason you're seeing it is he's getting to the line basically at will. Part of it is them wanting to foul him. But that's why you've seen the point total come up. I don't have any edge on taking the over, but if you ask me my personal opinion, I think he's going to go over it again. I just don't have the data to back it up in the simulations.
There's no problem. This is just more of a discussion today, which I love sometimes when it's not just about the pick and it's about discussing how they're doing. So it's okay if you don't, because I love your take on it. And for those people that are just joining us as we're approaching the bottom of the hour, it's Early Edge Live. We do it every single day. There's a big game coming up this fall. We'll be doing it every single day. But also we're very, very close to the 100 likes. If we get 100 likes here on the show, we'll give away a year-long sub. Then we'll get to 200, et cetera. So we're very, very close. Keep those likes coming. AB, your thoughts on starting with Giannis and that 34.5 number tonight?
Yeah, if for somebody who's playing the under, generally you would think that I would go under on this, but I think I agree with Mike. I think that you're going to see a game where the Bucks are going to be pressing to get the win because they understand how important that this game is, because they do not want to go back to Phoenix down 3-1, and I think you're going to have Giannis essentially get as many opportunities as possible. And what Mike said, in terms of him getting the line, if he's adding 11, 12, 13 points from that, yeah, like I don't disagree whatsoever. I would probably be under on a lot of other players' point totals in terms of their props. But Giannis, yeah, I don't mind that over. I could see him taking a ton of opportunities tonight.
I think he has realized that that he is a type of player, and we're going to head over to Maestro now, that needs to score 40 for his team to win against this type of a team. What do you got, Maestro?
Well, I think it's whether you believe what you're seeing on the court or whether you believe, his game log and the stats. He's gone under this 15 out of 18 games, the last 15. I mean, so it's crazy to see this number. I believe he started the playoffs around 26 in terms of points, and now we're at 34.5. He was averaging 8 points from the foul line up until this series. Now he's averaging 12. So, but if you watch what you're seeing, you see that they have no answer. You see that they're going to keep fouling him, and you see that he's going to take over. So I would lean over despite all those trends.
So Amir, go ahead. Amir, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm definitely with the over as well. When you just see like the difference between game one, when he was still kind of feeling out his knee, one thing that really popped out was his 11 shot attempts in that first game. It did end up turning into a blowout at some point, but then he had 6 of 11 from the field that first game. Then he comes back with 22 shots, then 23 shots. So he's going to continue. You see he's getting downhill so much more as far as attacking the rim. And yeah, not having that countdown, the Suns fans and everyone else has been giving him, helps him a lot. Just from playoffs overall is 56% from the line on the road and 66% through all the games at home, which, has been even better lately. So yeah, I definitely like the over there as well.
Yeah, it almost feels like one of the coaches, somebody set him down after the first game and said, hey, guess what? Your knee's fine. Don't baby it. Go out there and play it 100%. And then they also told him, you're a superstar. You're a multi-time MVP, and you may never get back here to the finals. So don't apologize to your teammates that they're not getting the ball. Go out and dominate. That's what it looks like to me, and he's buying in, and that's awesome to see. But the flip side of what AB just said, and AB, I want to come back to you, and you said some other guys, I would play the under. And I'm going to go directly to a guy, and I hate to give Tim Doyle any credit on our shows, but I will, because he was all over Chris Middleton and the under for the last 2 games, and he hasn't even come close to his number, which is 24.5.
Yeah, I like the under. Now, with Middleton, you're going to have lots of opportunities in terms of points, rebounds, assists, et cetera, things like that. Like, I think that you're looking at an opportunity for rebounds here. But, yeah, I'm not feeling it at all. Like, I think that if you look towards the rebounds props, you could have a better opportunity to hit. But, yeah, as for points, I agree. I'm all on the under.
I feel like rebound props are the hardest ones to do. They're the hardest ones to want to play. They're the hardest ones to figure out. And they're the hardest ones to just like, why am I playing this until you cash the ticket? And then you're like, okay, that makes a lot of sense on why I'm playing it. But I just can't even make any sense out of rebounds. What do you make of Middleton? And at 24.5, after some incredible performances, Maestro, and then the M squared, I'd like you to piggyback, against the Nets, where he was just lights out, especially without Giannis in the lineup. But he just hasn't been the same for this entire series. Do you see him bouncing back tonight?
Well, I think that, I leaned over last game, and he did start off well. He had 15, and then in the second half, they just realized, we don't need to take any outside shots. We just give it to Giannis and dunk the ball. So I would lean slightly under. I do think he's going to score more than 15. I think he'll be in the 20s. But I like the assists, because his assists were a career high this season, 5.4 assists in the regular season. His number is 5.5. You're getting plus money. I would lean over on assists because he is recognizing and feeding Giannis.
Yeah, I think that, if you're playing Middleton, especially on looking at the point number at 24.5, you got to make the correlated play there. It's probably correlated with Giannis negatively, just a little bit at the numbers that they're at. If he's going to score over 24.5, it's likely going to take away just a little bit from Giannis, or the game is sailing way over the total, in which case you're hitting over props across the board. So I think that you have to understand that and pick which side of the fence you're on that one. As far as my number on Middleton, it's 23.8. So I would lean towards the under on it. I think that it's a unique situation where he has a relatively high probability of scoring at least 20. But I will tell you that I think the number is incredibly efficient at 24.5. I think he's going to be right there. 2022 is right where he should be. And I feel very confident about him getting there. But I would not touch this number at 24.5 personally.
Oh, Mikey, you just used two words that ring true right here in this very moment. You said getting there. Guess where we just got here on the show? 100 likes, baby. We have reached it. So we have a winner. And boy, am I excited, because one of the glaring holes that we have in this show is we need a female that's part of our capper system, a female that's part of the show. And we're working on it. Trust us. But we have a female winner in our contest right now. And I'm excited about it because we want everybody to be a part of the show. All right. At Stephanie P96. At Stephanie P96. Stephanie. John, our producer, will reach out to you, give you all the details. You have won a year-long subscription to Sportsline. Welcome to the team. Now, if we get to 200, we'll give away another one, but also start putting in your Twitter handle in the comment section, and also just write over or under on whether or not you think the total will go over tonight or under, and we will give another year-long sub. So you got two opportunities. Even if you didn't win the first one, you still have an opportunity to win this one. And I do need to apologize. Mad Max and the Thunderdome has a couple of plays today that we did not give out yet. Maestro, do you have those handy?
I believe, well, I know he's on Cam Johnson. He's been on Cam Johnson every single game. And now, I hopped on the train as well. And we've all said it, he shot 1 out of 5 from deep and he still got 14 points. He got 30 minutes. The other one is Crowder's points, assists, and rebounds. It's a usage thing. I mean, don't expect him to make 6 out of 7 from 3, but he is getting open looks. I mean, they're focused on Booker, they're focused on Paul, and they're focused on Ayton. And basically, Bridges and Crowder are going to get open threes, and I think Cam Johnson's also going to get open threes. But Crowder's just a usage rate, 10 rebounds, 9 rebounds, 6 rebounds, got there for us barely last time in terms of the rebounds. So he's on Jay Crowder. There you see it, over 18.5 PAR.
I'll be honest. I just like to see the graphics that John makes, especially for Mad Max. Our guy, he's going to be a part of the show starting very, very soon, and Prop Stars will be here too. So we're really creating a great team, and Amir's brand new. So I'm really excited about the guys that we have coming on to the show. So put that in there. Jay Crowder, a little PAR, 18.5 points, rebounds, and assists. All right, guys, the last individual guy I want to talk about before we switch over to the Suns, and that, of course, is the third member of the big three, so to speak, when you're talking about the Bucks, and that's Jrue Holiday. And he's not been scared to shoot, but when you look at his numbers, game 1, 4, 14, 10. Game 2, 7 of 21, 17. And then the last game, he finally was 8 of 14, 21 points, but he has yet to hit his props. What do we think might happen with him tonight? Amir, I'll start with you.
Yeah, Jrue is he's a really tough one. Like I said earlier on when he on that Sun stretch, he was shooting 36%. He was just at home in home games. He's around like that 45, 46. He and Middleton are both like at 46 on the dot. But yeah, I think the main thing to look forward to is scoring for him. I think he's gonna continue to be aggressive, but not just be aggressive, but also hit his shots at a higher clip. So I think what I saw as points prop out was about 19.5 earlier. I think I would still, I think I would lean on the over for that. Just given how much better he shot the ball, especially if you're leaning away from Chris Middleton. And then just to throw in, if you think Jrue Holiday is going to be hot, I just want to plug that Chris Middleton play again, which I meant to get in while we were talking some Chris Middleton. 32% of Giannis's assisted baskets come from Middleton. 39% of Jrue Holiday's come from Middleton. So if you're riding the points and you think Middleton is going to be lower on the point side, then I think Jrue Holiday, the smart over prop.
You really are just like Jay Smooth. It's really all about you. I love it. You have a way of pivoting to get right back to your plays. That's actually a veteran move because you're like, I don't know how many times I'm going to get to talk here, so I got to make sure and get my stuff in. I got a lot of respect for you very, very quickly.
Appreciate it.
Very, very quickly. We are across the bottom of the hour here. We're only here for an hour, so the time flies by. Make sure you get those likes coming in. Leave your Twitter handle over under. We'll give away at least one more, hopefully two more year-long subs to Sportsline, and that'll make AB very, very happy. All right, let's switch gears, and let's go over to the Sun side. We've got a lot to unpack here, and we're going to start with the man Devin Booker, who did not even see the court in the fourth quarter. And anybody that complained on Twitter, oh, you screwed my over, he was at 10 points. His over was like 28. Stop. He wasn't going to hit it either way. You know what? I'm going to do a raise of hands. Who wants to start with Devin Booker and unpack that tonight and see if we can get back to where his point total looks like as we bring it up right now? And it is there. There it is. Game 1 and Game 2. AB, why don't we just start with you? He averaged 29 a game, 10 in Game 3. What do you expect from him tonight?
Yeah, I like it. I think he's going to come out, let's just be honest, pissed off. And I think he's going to come out. Somebody's got to do the scoring for Phoenix, and I think it's going to be him. I'm all over it. Again, as a guy playing the under, I'm not on a ton of overplays in terms of points, but I am on him. Yep, I'm all over it.
Maybe I've got 8 overs tonight, and I'm on the under. M squared, Devin Booker, he's always a big play. He's always a popular play for people as well because he has the ball a lot. What do you expect tonight?
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, he's going to play close to 40 minutes plus in this game. It should be a lot more competitive. Obviously, had a very big off game. It is the spot to take him on the over if you want to. The number has come down to 27.5. It should be sitting 28.5 where it has been for most of this stretch. I think one really interesting thing, if you like to follow narratives and off the court stuff, between games 2 and 3, Devin Booker and his team filed for 5 trademarks related to his name and his likeness and other things.
Okay.
Potentially was distracted on the road trip. Potentially was a little distracted during that. We'll see if he comes out a little hotter tonight, but definitely think he's going to play more. Definitely think he's going to shoot the ball more. So there's a small edge on this number. I have it at 29.1. I think the number should be 28.5 where it has been. There's no fundamental reason why it would drop a point other than looking at that past result. But as you know, in my opinion, past results mean very little when it's a 1-game sample size. I like the over on Booker. Like I said, not a huge edge, but 27.5 should be 28.5. Definitely would lean that way.
You know, when you're dating one of the Jenner sisters, then you would think you'd be able to be laser focused on the marketing side of things because they're genius. Whether you like them or not, they're geniuses. So, Devin, just lean on your better half and then focus on the game. She'll take care of your stuff. Come on. But I do think that can be a distraction. I really, really do. But does somebody want to jump in? I wasn't looking up.
I just want to chime in because shot 10 free throws in Game 1. Over the last 2 games, he has shot 5 combined free throws. You can't rely just on your jump shot, even though his mid-range is beautiful. He's going to be so aggressive. I mean, if he starts to get a couple of calls early, he is just going to attack the basket. I think I also lean over at 27.5.
Okay, so most everybody is on the over for Devin Booker. Keep those comments coming here on our YouTube page. We certainly do appreciate it. So another big name who's been terrific, and his number has kind of stayed very, very where it is. And Maestro, I'm going to let you start and raise your hand if you want to piggyback here because you've been on Deandre Ayton all the way back to the regular season. He has cashed so many times for us. He did not in Game 3. Do you expect to bounce back tonight?
What I think he finished with 18. His number was over 18. I
no,
guess
he did hit. My apologies. It was Game 2. I'm sorry.
He came out on fire. Got in foul trouble. I think he had 12 points in the first quarter. The focus is going to be on keeping him on the floor. I would definitely lean over on this one because I do think he'll play 40 minutes.
At some point, doesn't he have to not make these dumb fouls? And if that's the case, whoever he's guarding, Amir, you would think that whether it's Giannis or somebody else, maybe Brook Lopez might have some easier scoring opportunities just by them saying, listen, just let him have a bucket or two. You're more valuable on the court than trying to stop one or two baskets.
Yeah, for sure. And then I think that's part of why I like that Bobby Portis 3.5 rebound. Ayton, I think, is definitely going to come back and hit the over on his points. Man, when I say he killed me when he scored like 4 points in like his first 18 minutes of the other game, I was like, oh my god, because I was riding so hard for him to hit his points prop, and then he finishes up with the 10 and 11 or something like that. But yeah, definitely seeing him bounce back with that 8 for 11. I think he gets there again.
See, you just brought up a good point on why we tell people all the time to sprinkle on props, because you never know what's going to happen. You literally do not. It's not like a size, not like a total. But if your guy starts off ice cold, there is nothing worse than having a ticket on a guy. Am I right? There's nothing worse than that you're dead in the second quarter, and there's nothing you can do about it. There is nothing you can do about it. All right, anybody else on Ayton before I switch over to Chris Paul?
I'll mention on Ayton, it's pretty interesting to see, despite only playing 24 minutes in the last game, that was his highest usage rate game of his career, definitely of the season. At that point, he had a usage rate of 26.7%, basically double his normal 12 to 14%. So that result that we saw in that last game might be a little confusing. He was likely closer to the 10-point baseline that we saw in game 2 than what we saw out of him in game 3. So just a little caution on the Ayton, unless you think he's going to have that, basically Chris Paul level usage rate. Some of that, just temper your expectations a little bit there. If he gets into foul trouble and doesn't have a lot of that usage rate came from like a few key possessions. So just play it cautious with Ayton, in my opinion.
And I keep telling you, those of you who are brand new, because I know a lot of you come in every show, you hear about how great our guys are, how great the show. I'm telling you right now, listen to what M Squared says. It's about the numbers, and it's amazing how many times he's so close to the number with his model edge. So if he says be careful, just be kind of careful. Now, let's go over to Chris Paul, the aforementioned point guard. He came in right under his number. He's been right around that 21 number. He had 19 in game 3, but he's had a high usage rate. Who wants to jump in first on Chris Paul and what we think he'll hit tonight? I personally think in a pivotal game like this, he's going to be like Giannis and say, listen, I've got to score. I think he goes over tonight because I think he's just going to take a lot of shots. Who disagrees? Who agrees?
I'm going to lean under just because Jrue Holiday defensively is just unbelievable. And if they continue to pick him up full court, and he's had 10 turnovers in the last 2 games, I just think it's going to be more of a Booker game than a Paul game. I mean, he'll definitely be in the neighborhood, but I would lean under at 22.5.
Anybody agree with the maestro or agree with me?
I'm going to go ahead and hop in and say I think he'll go over again. I think such a big part of what the Suns do is the pick and roll basketball, but a lot of it is eliminated if Ayton can't stay on the court. So if you look at those, Ayton is obviously much more of a threat offensively than any other big they have. So if he's not that threat in games, rolling and open up that mid-range shot for Chris Paul, then I think that's a big part of why he fell under. But when Ayton's on the court, that's why the 4 games leading up to game 3, he'd gone over 21 points to 22. So I think we'll get there again with a more consistent Ayton.
Okay, very good. So we have guys on both sides, and it's a great opportunity with about 20 minutes to go. If you guys want to send in some questions, and I got my first one ready to go, we'll try to get to as many questions as you at home want to answer or ask in the next 20 minutes. You put them in our comment section, and we'll just fire away with our guys because they can answer anything at any time. The first question, we could go all over the place here, was what do we think about the Giannis rebound prop at 13.5? Raise your hand if you want to answer this question. Not everybody.
I'll take it and say that the number is dead on. I have it at 13.6. If you like it, I think that you should play it. If you don't like it, definitely stay away. It's one of those where there's no real value on either side, but if you're fine making a coin flip bet, it's not a negative EV play in any way. So if you have something that tells you that you like it or that you don't like it, feel free to go that way. The model's going to back you up either way, essentially, because it's not a negative value on either side.
Okay. That makes me feel a little bit better. But that's just a high number. 13.5, it feels like a high number, right?
Well, he's gone under 7 of his last 8 in the playoffs. The game 1 of this series is the only one he's gone over that.
Oh, interesting. See, education, entertain. Tell you all the time. We got the numbers. We got the guys. We got the insight. So, so basically, to kind of recap, before I want to look at what you guys think the rest of the series is going to look at, as we were down to about 17 minutes left in the show. So we kind of like Cam Johnson tonight. Maybe Chris Paul a little bit. Booker maybe a little bit. But what's so crazy is that when I hear all my guys talk about all these numbers, there are arguments to be made for both sides, which is why sometimes the numbers are dead on. And it feels like a lot of these numbers are right where they should be. Right where they should be. Now, the price on the series, that's what I want to get to next. Because now that it's 2-1, it feels like a realistic discussion that we should have. And the numbers look like this. Odds to win the series, the Suns are still minus 250. If we think, and Maestro, I'll start with you. If we think the Suns or the Bucks are going to win tonight at plus 210, wouldn't we think that they would also be a pretty good value at that number to win the series? But I know you're on the Suns. That's why I'm asking you first.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you think the Bucks are for sure taking this game, then it's a 3-game series. I just think the Suns are good enough on the road to win one of the next 2 road games, either game 4 or game 6. That's why at this point, I mean, I said Suns in 6 before the series. Suns minus 1.5 games, I believe, is plus 115 on William Hill or plus 110. That's the way I would look right now, because I just think of these 3 road games, they're going to get one, and I don't think the Bucks are going to win in Phoenix.
AB, let's go to you. Your thoughts on the future price.
Yeah, so, I, when you look at it and you look, can the Suns win in 5, 6, 7? Look, I think we can eliminate 5. I think that this series is going to go 6 or 7, and it could go either way. If the Bucks win tonight, I mean, they can pull this thing off too. We've got an even series, relatively speaking, obviously. So I think that you can look and say, all right, if the Bucks are going to win this series, it's going to do in 7. The Bucks are going to win in 7 if they do. So if you take a look at these odds, you could take Suns in 6, Suns in 7. And you could use both of those numbers. I think it's plus 280, plus 320, somewhere around there. And you can actually play both of those at the same amount of money and kind of give yourself a nice little insurance hedge. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of my thoughts here. I still think that the Suns get it done, but this series is going 6 or 7.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Ding, 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 ding. Before I get to M-Squared and Amir, we have our winner in the other contest we ran where you get left your Twitter handle. And then also over under, and grab your paper, grab your pencil. Here is the winner at Hog Wildman. I would love to meet a dude who calls himself at Hog Wildman and apparently is into sports betting. Hey, we don't judge, we just welcome. And welcome to the team, Hog Wildman. Welcome to the team. Now, we've got an opportunity for one more in the next 14 minutes. If we can get to 200 likes, I will give away one more year-long sub to Sportsline here on the show. All right, M-Squared, I'm going to let you go. And then, Amir, I want you to piggyback on which way you would go hearing the numbers on the series. What do you like?
Yeah, I mean, I start out by saying the value bets on both sides. If you think the Suns win the series, take them on the money line a little bit tonight. If you think the Bucks win the series, take the Bucks on the series line tonight. Both of them are going to be close to plus 200. So that's where it would be, because those prices will be available depending on the way the result comes in tonight. I personally will lean towards the Bucks in the series, but that's just where the value is at plus 210 right now in the series. So I like the Bucks. If I had to play a series bet, it would be on the Bucks right now. An alternative way to play it would be to sprinkle on Giannis to win MVP. If Giannis hits near his 34.5 tonight and the Bucks win the game, the MVP odds will be dead even after this game.
Interesting.
And I believe he has a chance if he plays like this and the series goes 6 or 7. Let's say it goes Suns in 7 and he averages, 38 and 12. I believe there's been one other player that's won it from a losing team. So there's a slight chance that he could. And there's obviously no other Buck that can win it.
I think it's more than a slight chance. I was going to say the exact same thing, Maestro, that you just said. There's not a player on the Suns side right now that is playing even close to the level that Giannis is playing at. So if this goes 6 or 7, I could 100%. And of course, he has to continue to put up these monster numbers to win on the losing side, but I could see more than a small chance. I think you're dead on. Amir, let's hear your opinion on the series price, and also comment on what Maestro just said as far as potentially an MVP winning from the losing side.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to the LeBron argument from a couple years ago, where it's like, can a guy from a losing team really like win Finals MVP? And definitely, if he has like 3 or 4 40-point double doubles, I think definitely. Even if you're not super confident about the Bucks winning, sprinkling some of that on the Giannis Finals MVP is definitely a great value bet, regardless of where you think the series is going to go. But as far as even if Milwaukee evens it up, I think there's value there, but I still think the Suns will take it. When you look at even Giannis's first crazy game, 40-point double double, Suns still win by 10. The two double-digit wins at home mean a lot. And then if Chris Middleton and Jrue Holiday don't show up, it really doesn't matter what kind of monstrous game Giannis puts together, which they proved that in the first 2 games. So I still stick with the Suns for the series.
Okay, I'll tell you, I'm gonna put it out there what I did today, and somebody call me stupid. I'm sure M squared will, but I looked at all the numbers that I gave you earlier to counteract Maestro's argument on the Suns, and because they won so many games in a row. I bet the Bucks on the money line tonight at minus 192. I felt like the juice absolutely was worth the squeeze, because the one thing I hate when you're betting basketball and there's 5's my dead number. When it's 4 or 5 and you win by 3 and you're like, why didn't I put the money line and pay the extra juice? And I know M squared, his head's ready to pop off his shoulders right now because this goes against everything that he teaches us. But I just felt like the numbers warranted. Plus, it's the NBA Finals. I wanted to bet aside. And I didn't like the 4 or 5 number. Would anybody follow yours truly and bet the money line on the Bucks tonight?
Well, Matt Severance did it on Sportsline. Matt dit it. There was a study about games ending between 4 and 7. I'll have to dig it up in the NBA. Mike might have it off his fingertips. But no, I don't blame you. I mean, it's less than 200,
Thank you, Maestro. And by the way, I don't blame all of you at home for being so supportive of our show, because guess what just happened? Gentlemen, here on the show? You know it. You see AB. He knows we just crushed it. 200 likes we just hit on the show. Normally, we never get to that many. So thank you all for telling your friends, bringing them to the show. And I'm going to have a winner in a very, very, very short period of time. We want you to continue. If you haven't, please leave your Twitter handle in our comment section. There's a reason we're doing that, and it's a very positive reason that we're doing that. But I can't give away all the cool things we're doing here at the Early Edge. Just keep putting your Twitter handle in there, because we got some really cool things happening, and we want to know who is following us and who's watching the show live as well. All right, we're under 10 minutes to go, so I want to recap the plays that we've given out on the show, and then, as always, I'll give each one of you a closing comment on the show. So, AB, let's start with you. And when I say 15 seconds to 20 seconds, that's what I mean. AB, 15 to 20 seconds on your play, and you tell me why.
Start the clock. Under 221.5, and the reason being is this. The last 3 Game 4s in the NBA Finals, we saw drop-offs of 21, 35, and 19 points respectively. From Game 3, we see a tight win tonight. Play the under.
I know you've got 5 plays, Amir, so I'm going to give you 45 seconds. Explain
45 seconds.
45 seconds. Yeah, it's a recap. This isn't breaking news. This is a recap. Johnny, throw up his very nice graphic as well. Go ahead, Amir.
Copy.
You don't have to wait for the. You just
all right, cool. Yeah, so we're living like Larry and Amir, and we're riding those Suns +4. Just because the Suns have been so great at bouncing back from games, like I talked about before, the 15-5 after a loss during the regular season. I love that. The over on the points, over 220.5, because we're looking for Devin Booker coming back and having a big game, and DeAndre Ayton not getting in as much foul trouble. Bobby Portis is back in the rotation, backing up Giannis, backing up Brook Lopez. We love the over 3.5 rebounds, 11 in 17 games. He's done that in his last 17. Cam Johnson, his prop is 8.5 for points, 14 and 5 last game, probably 30+ minutes. So we love his point assist rebound at +100. And then lastly, we're going to Chris Middleton, over 5.5 assists at +110. 4 of his last 5, 7 of his last 10. he assists all Giannis and Jrue Holiday's points. There we go.
Oh man, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'll give you credit.
Hey, I'm learning.
It's okay, man. It's a learning process. All right, Maestro, as always, you're our anchor, bud. Give us your pick and why, and also Mad Max, please.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't need to go into Cam Johnson anymore. We all love Cam Johnson tonight. Mad Max, me, Amir Tyree. Mad Max also on Crowder with the usage for his PAR, but I just came across something. The ref assignments for tonight, Capers, Guthrie, I forget the third guy, combined have had 6 Suns games this year, 5-1, the Suns ATS mark. Only significant because it's not Scott Foster, who we know the Suns cannot win with Scott Foster.
Oh, we know that. Oh my goodness. And I wish Scott Foster, when I placed my Bucks money, that would have been like icing on the cake. Okay, I've got a winner, our third winner of the hour, and nothing makes me feel better than changing somebody's life. And that's exactly what happens when you follow us at Sportsline. You get all the cappers, you get all the analysis, you get all the simulations, all of that. And you just won at Molly Mel 1. At Molly Mel 1. Don't worry. Johnny will reach out to you on social media and give you all of the details. And everybody, I love getting the tweets from people that say, Coach, I just joined Sportsline. I can't believe I didn't do it before right now. I'm telling you, it's worth it because all of these cats right here on the show, they're also at Sportsline every single day. All right, we got 5 minutes left in the show, so you know what time it is. It's time for our final takes. And M Squared, you know the drill, son. Give it to me.
All right, Coach, I wanted to start. I didn't jump in when you were giving your Bucks moneyline play. I actually don't hate it. What I would do, however, is I would still watch the game live, look for the opportunity where they fall behind by 6 to 7 points at some point, likely after one of those stretches of Devin Booker hitting back-to-back threes off a turnover, whatever it may be. And you're going to be able to bring that juice down to -130, -135, which is a much more manageable number. Yeah. And if it never gets there, it never gets there. You don't get the opportunity, obviously, which is a good thing because you're probably not on the other side of the game, so you're not losing either way. But that's how I would play that one if I had the opportunity to play it. Other than that, I don't have any official plays on the game. I lean towards the over. On Devin Booker. I'm very interested to see what happens with DeAndre Ayton. The Bucks have figured out that is the key to winning the series, is to get him off the floor, and they're going to do everything they possibly can. All I can say is don't be shocked if you see a double technical foul in this game. Foul the crap out of DeAndre Ayton and rough him up as much as they possibly can in this game. Watch for it tonight. I think that we see it in this series.
And we had a Frank Kaminsky sighting on the show. That may be where they go, is the Frank Kaminsky getting in and getting a little physical because his fouls mean nothing. All right, AB, I know you're all over everything in this game. You're still feeling good about last night. Chest out, shoulders back, chin up, all kinds of cocky today. Go ahead, close it for me. Let's go.
Yep, absolutely. Not only do I love the under, I'm kind of hoping that this game starts quickly and we get some scoring right out of the gate, because what I'm going to do is come right over the top live and play the under even more when that number gets juiced up. So let's go.
Wow. I feel like there's only one place for me to go right here, and that's to Amir. I feel like that was just shots fired straight at you.
Hey.
Respond. This is your final take. Give it to me, son. Let's go.
All right, so I'm still sticking with that over, and then everyone seemed to be on the points for Giannis. Let's go ahead and look at that Giannis points, rebounds, and assists over 53.5, -110. Actually, really like that after looking over it some more. And his triple-double line has actually moved from +1,100 to +800. So it looks like we were really expecting a big game from him. And if you really think he's going to get there with the points and like Mike said, the rebounding was around 13. It's really, he's going to get assists. So, hey, I like that line right there. That's how I'll close it out.
Hey, that was a great closeout because in the last game, he would have hit the par with just points and rebounds. He didn't even need the assist. And he had some really good assists in that game. He really did. He passes the ball. He really does. So over 53.5, a little lean. Wait a second. Do we have Chiefs dog of the day all of a sudden? Out of nowhere? All right. This is how we close the show every single day, because he is our guy. Maestro, take it home.
Well, you mentioned Frank Kaminsky, and one thing that jumped out at me from that game was he had chances at the basket where they were feeding him inside, and if there was a guy within 5 feet, he was throwing it outside. I mean, he played scared. They didn't play with force. I think Monty Williams, I think you saw that moment when he was coaching Ayton about playing with force. I think the Suns are going to come out, play with force, attack the basket, especially Booker. So I just look for a totally different effort. What we saw in game 3, that desperation, that urgency, it's hard to recapture. This is going to be a great game. It's going to go down to the wire, and I can't wait.
All right. Well, we wonder who's going to be the side of the Bucks who's going to come in and get that double technical foul, because I think Kaminsky certainly will do his best to be the guy on that side. But who?
Bobby Portis.
Yeah,
Bobby Portis.
that's
what I was going to say.
Bobby Portis.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it would be Bobby Portis too. Well, that shouldn't affect his rebounding number at all, right? Shouldn't affect it because he's not going to do technicals. Go ahead.
Whenever a guy says he visualizes the opposing team slapping his mom before games, you know he's got enough in him to get a double tech. So, but hopefully it's after he gets 4 rebounds is what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, wait till you get 4 rebounds and slap your mama, and then you can leave the game, and we're all good.
There we go.
All right, great way to end the show. What a tremendous hour deciphering the game 4 NBA final tonight. Can't even talk at this point. I'm so wired. I'm so fired up. Remember, follow all of my guys on social media as they always comment live, always giving out plays. You never know. Turn on those notifications. Here is the live official plays. Now, we're going to go Suns Bucks under from AB. Larry, the maestro, Suns +4. Then Amir, you see Suns +4. So officially for the show, how we do it is majority rules. And since we have 2 on the Suns and only Zach is on the Bucks officially for the show, we're playing the Suns plus the 4. Then Amir also likes the Suns and Bucks to give you all the reasons why. So use this information and use it however you like. If you like his information, play the over. If you like AB's, play the under. A lot of it's about information and using it yourself at home. All right. Man, I love big games. You all have your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets, you know where, straight to the pay window. I got to come up with a nickname for you. But right now, for Amir, for M Squared, for AB, and of course, for the maestro, I am the coach. And Johnny's our incredible producer, all the great graphics. Remember, this is your daily sports betting show of record. Our golf-only episode is in your feed right now with Rick G, and you've only got a few hours till the Open Championship starts tonight. Do not get shut out. Let's go, boys. Let's go. This is the Early Edge. Good luck. Do you want best bets in your feed every? Do you want best bets in your feed every single day? All you have to do is hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all things Early Edge.